I was steady off the short days, long nights. We be gone to the morn. Yeah, they love it. All eyes on me when I put it on. Hallways, porch lights. Gotta keep the evil off. Oh me, oh my. I just be like, who be gone? 10 roll spliffs in a VIP. We don't do lines. Didn't need a glow. Cause we always been the cool guys. Beach tent, cooler with the drinks and the blue skies. Ravens, bucket low like F it though it's all mine. She all mine. Grab her by her waistline. We ain't come to waste time. Hit me on my main line. ISO the best, yeah, you heard it through the grapevine. Yeah, they know we heavy on it, feel it through the baseline. Collecting all I do is, yeah, send it through the PayPal. They knew it's all from way back, ain't got nothing to say now. Came up, we was way down, we ain't come to wait around. Do this for my baby boy, about to build a playground, ain't playing around. Nah, ISO, yeah, we heavy on it, Henny on the rocks, and I put a cranberry on it, yeah. ISO, we be heavy on it. We ain't quit rapping, they was capping, they ain't never won it. Short days, long nights, we be gone to the morn. Yeah, they love it, all eyes on me when I put it on. Hallways, porch lights, gotta keep the evil off. Oh me, oh my, I just be like, who be gone? 10 roll spliffs in a VIP, we don't do lines, didn't need a glow. Cause we always been the cool guys. Beach tent, cooler with the drinks and the blue skies. Ravens, bucket low like F it though it's all mine, it's all mine.
Testing, testing. All right, sounds good. All right, I'll be starting here in a few minutes, guys. Just give me a couple minutes. All right, guys, we're gonna get into it a little bit here. Just give everybody a couple more minutes, and then we'll roll kind of into the different things that are kind of happening in the world economics, and then we'll kind of get into direction and what all's going on. Also buy directions. We're gonna look at those too and see kind of where we are in the market as a whole, and see if now's a good time to maybe accumulate a little bit of crypto as well as other assets in the market. There are a lot of concerning things, I think, right now with all things in the market, but at the same time, I don't think it's a bad time to hop in. Kind of jumping right into it, we'll just kind of run through some quick news that I kind of dug up for you guys, and we're going to kind of talk a little bit about Ukraine, as well as ties with Putin and Xi. So you can see right here, basically, Putin and Xi are kind of working in a sense kind of hand in hand. It's not really out in the open just yet, but there's a good portion that, you know, are assuming that Xi is kind of helping fund Putin's current invasion on Ukraine. Again, lots of articles out there for you guys to kind of look into that yourselves. So Xi Jinping of China and Vladimir Putin pretty much have forged a respectful, perhaps even warm relationship, reflecting the deepening ties between two world powers that share a common cause against American military and economic might. So the reason I bring this up, and a lot of people might be like, well, you know, that's that and this is this. This could very well affect economics, especially these two world powers, in a sense, kind of more or less combined forces. So definitely something to look out for. These could, you know, easily, very easily, I think, in a sense, lead to what we consider maybe like a potential World War III, but we'll see where it goes at the end of the day. I think things will kind of cool down and calmer heads will kind of combine, and, you know, at the end of the day, I think we'll probably see a resolution, hopefully, right, towards the whole thing that's going on with Ukraine right now. Another thing to look out too, and this is something I brought up before in the FS group, so I don't know if you guys know who this is. His name is Sudan's I think it's Hemedeti, but basically this guy right here is working directly out of Africa, and a lot of the gold that Russia ended up kind of gathering before they ended up doing this invasion, just so you guys know too, if people were paying attention to Russia's movement in economics, they would have actually saw that Russia was already prepping for this war. They were basically accumulating and picking up big amounts of assets before all this kind of came together. So once that kind of happened, we basically had this guy right here who's basically sending lots and lots and lots of gold to Russia. So these are kind of different things that I was paying attention to when markets were kind of heading the direction they were. And that's where I was kind of like, okay, what's going to happen next? And this is what kind of helped me decide where good entries were and exits, and decide what the market direction was at the time. With that being said, again, just smaller things, but things you guys should look out for. I do want to also bring up too, not sponsored or anything like that, but Quan. A lot of people, you know, are looking at all these other networks. There are a lot of great networks out there, but I would say when it comes to Quan, I think that it's a really good one, guys. Like, especially for the price point, you're talking a 67 million cap. This one's been around since 19, just FYI. You won't see that on CoinMarketCap or anything like that. You'll basically only see that if you go back and look at Quan and kind of when it started development and everything like that, right? So that would be kind of where you'll actually kind of see that price movement, or that time lapse, sorry. If you look here too, they're basically 97,000 TPS, which is transactions per second. This is what they can do on private. On public, they can do 1,600 transactions per second. Bitcoin 7, Ethereum 14, Cardano 250, DOT 1,500, and Solana, right? One of the most sought after ones is 2,231 transactions per second. Decentralized level, you can see right here, 3 out of 3. Bitcoin also 3 out of 3. We all know this. Ethereum 2 out of 3. These are true numbers. Cardano 2 out of 3, Polkadot 2 out of 3, and Solana, obviously being centralized, 1 out of 3. Moving on to language, Quan platform is one of the few platforms I've seen that are basically looking at an any language platform. This is really big, in my opinion, for Quan, and I think that it's really huge, you know, for Quan as a whole. We've also got Bitcoin here, basically programming language, no, none, as in, you know, obviously the person who created Bitcoin, no longer around. Programming language unknown. Nobody can go in and kind of modify that. Ethereum Solidity. We've got Cardano right here. Plutus, Marlow. We've got Polkadot, Rust, and JavaScript, and we've got Solana, Rust, C, and C++. C++ being, I think, the simplest of the languages. Really good one also. Consensus algorithm. We got proof of resistance. That's what POR is. POW is proof of work. Ethereum is also proof of work, but soon to be possibly proof of stake in Ethereum 2.0. So keep that in mind too. That could definitely change the game for Ethereum price point wise, but it could also change the game investors wise. So keep an eye on that proof of work to proof of stake conversion. When that happens, we could see an influx to Ethereum, or we could also see just a bunch of people exit Ethereum at the same time. There's a lot of people who like the proof of work standpoint, and they like the barrier to entry kind of in a sense. Cardano itself, proof of stake, as we all know. And then we've got NPOS, which we just talked about today, but honestly, I forgot what it is already again. But NPOS for Polkadot, it's basically like a validator on top of a proof of stake. So you got somebody who's backing the validation into the proof of stake. So you're kind of putting your reputation on the line when you're validating a proof of stake. And then you got POH right here with Solana. So we've also got hybrid blockchain. So is Quant platform a hybrid blockchain? Yes. Bitcoin, no. Ethereum, yes. Cardano, no. Polkadot, yes. And Solana, no. So as we can see right here, what are the ones that get the best price action? What are the ones that get the most money in the market? Right? Ethereum, EVM, and you guys can click on these and kind of figure out what they mean. They'll take you to another page. It'll explain to you what these are. EVM compatibility, yes, no, yes, yes, no, and no. Cloud deployment time, 5 minutes, none, hours, 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 and hours. Quantum resistant security, yes, no, 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 no. And then market cap 67 million versus 790 billion versus 338 billion, 30 billion, 20 billion, 31 billion. I've never done an actual video on really any coin specifically. I would say I've probably talked about different coins in the past, but definitely liking this platform, keeping an eye on it. I think that it could be a front runner. If you look at market cap in comparison to all the rest of them, like even if this thing got to 4 billion, that's still like what, 30x or whatever from where it sits right now. So definitely something I keep an eye on. I got into Quan around 3 cents to begin a cycle, got out around 14. I think it got up to like 30 cents at one point, and now it's back at 5 cents again. So good coin overall. I think that, you know, the development's really good. Looking to the developer, he's a really smart guy, really good team. They're working with cloud deployment to Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, AWS, Amazon Web Services, and then a couple other ones too. Yeah, Band Protocol, Digital Ocean, all these other ones right here. So lots of different platforms that they're able to write their code to and write these smart contracts to. And I think that this will definitely be a game changer for a lot of, we'll say, institutions in general, right? This might really drive institutions to utilize this platform over any other one due to the way that it can integrate into their systems pretty fast and pretty efficiently. And then the code in any language makes it even more dev friendly, right? You want that dev friendliness because dev friendliness creates adoption then creates FOMO then creates price action, and so on and so forth. So these are just different things that I look for on here. Again, not trying to sell you guys on it. I just think it's a good platform. Wanted to bring it up before we kind of move forward. All right, let's see here. So let's look at modern stock markets and war. Not really something I wanted to talk about because we've already discussed that before. Obviously, when war initially happens, we usually get that initial pullback on the market from the war. And then after that, we get that relief, right? That pull up. And that's kind of why I made the call in the FS group the other night for people to kind of jump in and buy into some alts. And I'll explain some alts here in a little bit here in just a few. In addition to that, let's see here, Bitcoin Newpool. So Bitcoin Newpool is something else I wanted to cover because a lot of people are like, oh, we're in a part of the market, you have to buy. I would say until, in my opinion, and this could happen, don't get me wrong, this could happen higher in price or it could happen in lower in price. We don't know at the end of the day. Capitulation could happen at 50K. We don't know. But usually the best time to buy, if you're looking for the best possible buy zones, it's usually in the capitulation when it comes to glass nodes for long-term holders. You want to see those long-term holders capitulating and starting to buy at the bottom, right? And like I said, that bottom could be higher than where we're at, or it could be lower than where we're at. And you're probably like, well, how could it be higher? Well, in time, the floor gets higher and higher, right? So if the floor gets high enough, then that's where it's at. That's where capitulation happens at. So right now, we have not been back in that euphoric zone since our previous top over here. We basically kind of drifted down into the belief in denial zone, which is where a lot of people are. If you read Twitter and you look at different platforms and stuff like that, is in this zone. So belief in denial zone, we keep bouncing off of that optimism and anxiety zone. So we haven't quite gotten into that zone yet. Outside of that, I would say like we'll probably remain here for a little while. We'll probably see some price action, but I think we are going to start moving into these lower zones. Now, does that mean that price has to drop down for us to move into those lower zones? Not necessarily, right? So we could kind of hold price where we're at and visit those lower zones, but I think for us to get into that capitulation, we will see lower lows in price. Could I be wrong at the end of the day? Sure, but this is historically how things have worked out, and this is pretty much, you can see right here, you got all the way back here since 2011 till now. So all the data is there. Every time capitulation happens, when does capitulation happen? After a cycle, right? When the cycle has bottomed, capitulation happens, and then you see those long-term holders start to pick up bags right here in capitulation. Right here, cycle in, long-term holders start to pick up bags in capitulation. Where is that in price? That's usually the rock bottom price of the cycle. So if we're heading towards that rock bottom price, then that's where we're at. Now, does that mean that price can't ramp up and then come down and then go into capitulation? Sure, it can. And that's where I'm saying that we hit that, possibly a higher capitulation zone. But historically, if you stick to capitulation data, you'll be in a good buy zone. So right now we're still kind of high for a buy zone, but at the same time, I'm going to show you an argument against that too in just a minute. So if we move into charts, overall, we can see pretty much price action pick up perfectly on this double bottom. Look at this. Bottom, and this is on the monthly, and we can see what with the bottom. Well, we have lower low here and a higher low here. So that's showing price action moving this direction. Regardless of where things are and how bearish the market is, this is what it is at the end of the day. Our monthly closed here. Our next monthly is closing here. We'll see if they can keep breaking up. They may be able to break up, but if price does not hold up in this zone, then I'll expect rejection here and for us to come back down more, right? So I'm kind of looking for that 45,889. I would like price to get above that and kind of hold above that on the monthly. If that happens, we can end up seeing another bullish upside for the market. Do I think the market goes 100K BTC? No, I don't. I think that if the market ends up running up again, we will probably top just like we have previously here or here or here, because this line right here has been the ceiling. Can we go through? Sure. Will we come back through? More than likely. I don't see them letting us get out of the zone. I think it's very unlikely they're going to let us do that. If we look here, let's go here. We're going to delete this stuff. I don't know why it won't let me delete it otherwise. We'll go here and here. All right. So price action as a whole. So we can see right here, price action, obviously in an uptrend, right? Nice uptrend. Keeps bouncing on the same zone. Look at that monthly. It looks beautiful. If we move into the daily, we had a nice pump today. Really, really, really nice pump. Called this pump back here in FS. I did call it kind of high, but not too high. I called it right around in here, right? I think right around 38, 39K is when I called for people to look for an entry. And I did explain that we could pull back, which is exactly what happened. We then, from that green candle that we were up, we then pulled back. And on that pullback, we then ran up. We've got nice price action here in this zone. I'm expecting to hold this zone now, and I'm looking for Bitcoin to range here. So we can see the RSI right here is looking pretty good. We're still kind of on this downtrend a little bit, right? But we've kind of just barely gotten up above it, or maybe we're underneath it. It's kind of hard to tell right here on the daily, but possibly we're under it, right? And we can see deflection and back down. Now, here's what I'm looking for, right? We all see that. So if we all see that, that right there is what I'm kind of watching for right now, because I'm watching price follow the RSI almost identically. Look, boom, boom, and then maybe another one, right? You guys see that? So we need to get above this resistance right here, which is the same resistance we're seeing right here. We could see Bitcoin though, in addition, I don't know why it keeps zooming out when I do that. We could see Bitcoin potentially fall back and find support. So that's always a possibility too. Which would mean that I would be looking for Bitcoin to come back here, find support here, and then we'll probably see Bitcoin come back here, find support on the 50, guys. We need to hold that 50 right here. So if we can hold the 50 right here, I'll be looking for a price to break out from here. And then we could see a good amount of upside from that, right? Which would be us coming here. And then we could break out up here, and we could come as high as up here, all the way at the 60. Don't get overly excited about the evaluation here, but this is what I'm watching for. So big confirmation is support here, right at 40,500, and big confirmation is support right at the 50 on the RSI. If we get these two right here, that would be like a double confirmation for me. And that would tell me right there that, you know, it's probably good for an entry if you haven't entered yet. And so we would need a full close here. And if you want extra confirmation, so you know you're not buying the falling knife, essentially, you can wait for this pullback, wait for Bitcoin to break above this zone again. So once Bitcoin breaks above again, it's going to more than likely shove through. And then once that happens, then you'll probably be looking at more upside, and then more upside on the RSI. The RSI would then top, it'll come back, and it should find support on what was resistance, right? If it's going to run up again. And that's how you can tell a bull run from a bearish downtrend, right? Like we've been in. The other thing we got to look at here too is we've been in this big W formation, right? So the likeliness of us breaking out, yeah, we could very well break out from here. Now, does this have to do with Ukraine, or have to do with, I don't know, buying, or have to do with, I don't know, Fed rates or anything? No, this is just simple price action, market moving with the price action. Obviously it's having a hard time getting deeper, right? So if the market can't go down, which direction does it have to go? It has to go up to be able to create price action. So I'm looking for that. Another thing I'm looking for too is if rejection remains and we break this support, I'm looking for Bitcoin to actually come down deeper. So if we break, we'll more than likely come back and retest, fail, and then we'll fall deeper, right? Now, does it mean that we have to go to 29K like everybody says we did? No, we could end right here and just double bottom, right? And that would be our full M. We've broken our lower than our middle, and then we'll probably be looking for upside here maybe, or, you know, we'll just sit here in range. And that's what'll happen. So these are kind of the scenarios that can play out here. Both bullish and bearish, but I think we're more bullish than we are bearish right now, right? For at least for the short term. I do think there's a possibility that they're using this move and using the market right now in a way to get more people to FOMO in also. So I would be extremely careful, because keep in mind the Fed meeting is coming up, I think March 14th. It's either 14th or 16th. When the Fed meeting happens, I'm sure they're going to take advantage of that to make a nice dip, right? That'll be a nice bounce to buy into, because it should bounce right back off that dip. I would not expect this thing to just go and just drop. I would definitely be looking for that, just like every other dip that has happened so far, right? Every dip that's, even the war dip, everything, it just goes down, comes right back up. The markets are not ready to give up right now on assets. They're going to keep pumping them. One thing I did see though that I do want people to be kind of cautious with is stocks are not looking the greatest. So if we come over to stocks, again, we're under this bearish downtrend, right? Stocks actually look worse than crypto right now. Bearish downtrend. And they keep trying to pump it right up to the support, right? And then they drop it every day. We've basically got a breakout right here for Spirit. And then we've got this Luna. Now here's my Luna one, right? Because I know a lot of people are looking at like Luna. Look at this. What is this? It's an incline wedge, guys. There's a lot of whales in Luna. Eventually this incline wedge is going to do what incline wedges do, and it's going to drop. So be extremely careful with Luna, man. It's just, and you can see it. Look, you got this huge uptrend, right? Huge uptrend. What's the RSI doing? Eventually that rug's going to get pulled. I think Luna might run into a scenario where it looks like ADA at some point. And I'm not at all trying to upset anybody who likes Luna. I mean, Luna is a great coin as far as the way that they just recently revamped it. I think revamping it was smart, very smart. But the RSI is not showing volume to support the climb. It's just people are holding. And yes, I know the coin is deflationary, guys. It is deflationary while the network is being utilized. Eventually, though, it will be like Ethereum, right? Ethereum EIP 1559 is the same thing. And do you see Ethereum just pumping like this? No. Eventually, the network will cool down. People will stop utilizing it for a while, and it will come down. And when it comes down, I think Luna's going to come down pretty hard. So be careful playing in it. There's always upside. I can show you exactly where everything's at for Luna. It's so obvious. Look at the weekly, guys. You've got price action right in here, lower half, right? You've got price action right up here, upper half. But you could see the squeeze they're getting here. They're getting squeezed. They're running out of volume. So now they're playing these bottoms and these tops very tightly. And we hit this top and you see we've already rejected back a little bit. Now, could we push through? Sure. But upside for Luna, it's there, but it's also kind of dangerous to be playing with this one. It could play out a little further, but usually the further and further down the wedge it gets, the more and more you need to be careful, right? So definitely keep an eye on Luna. I would be careful with that. Soul has a nice bounce right here. You can see support's really solid right here in the zone around $97 to $85. I can see Soul holding this for a while. If we get the Fed meeting, I can see Soul breaking down and finding support right above here, right? So if we get, I think the Fed meeting might pull Soul back to here, and then we should see a nice bounce for Soul at that point. Soul is almost at the bottom of the RSI. Even though Soul is way overbought, in my opinion, way overpriced, there's going to be your traders that are playing off the RSI, guys. And the RSI looks bad for Soul. So they're going to be looking for opportunity, and they're going to see it as an ample opportunity to pump Soul and get it pumped back up, get the hype going again, run Soul back up, and then liquidate everybody on the way back down while they're selling off on everybody. FTX, man, it's just pumping again. I don't know why Phantom just goes, or FTM, sorry, but right now Phantom is ranging. That's what Phantom's doing right now. So you're at a bottom, so you could grab some Phantom right now, and I would look at an exit around right around probably $3.30, $3.20. To be safe, man, I'd probably drop it at 310 and take my leave there if I were gonna hold Phantom, because if Bitcoin pumps, Phantom should follow. It should 100% follow. Let's see, gold is getting completely annihilated. Everybody bought into it, and then people sold it off immediately. But that's kind of the price action for gold right now as a whole. Let's see, Ethereum, USDT, ETH. Man, ETH is another one of those that's just getting wrecked right now. So ever since ETH kind of fell out of its uptrend, it just hasn't been able to get the same strength anymore, guys. Like if you look at ETH, it had this huge ramp up, and ever since it fell out, it's just been under. And we don't know how low to go. I'm not saying it'll go this low. I'm just showing you guys kind of where it's at and what it's doing, right? So it is ranging though really well. I would say it's ranging here, probably right in between, and it might move with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin moves in that W formation like we talked about, we might get to see some price action here. But it looks like it's ranging between 31.66 and I would say, to be a safe bottom, 25.87. Yeah, you could run a bot on Phantom, I think. Price action seems to be pretty stable. I would buy Phantom if I was going to run a bot, because I would expect it to start selling, right? So if it starts pumping, it's going to start selling off all your position, which is good. So you could buy here, I would think. Then this would be like a safe position to buy it, because you're pretty much on the bottom of the zone. The zone here is pretty pretty obvious. I'd say like liquidity is like right down in here, right? So every time they kind of come down and do a liquidity grab right in here, and you can see the wicks, and then they run it right back up again. And right there, even this wick right here is doing the same thing. So you're still in a safe zone to buy. And then I would look to set my bot up to kind of incorporate everything above there. So this would be like my sell points. And then these right here would be like my buys right down here. But yeah, you could run a bot where it sits. You would have to buy it though if you're going to use a bot, because I wouldn't wait for the bot, because otherwise, if you don't buy it before you put the bot on, the bot's not going to do anything when it goes up, and it's going to start buying when it comes, or start buying when it comes back down. You're not going to get that upside price action. So you'd have to buy it ahead of time. Yeah, we can cover Matic real quick. Let's cover Matic real quick. I thought I had it open. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, Matic's ranging really well, I would say. Man, I called Matic, I think back here in the FS group, and it did just a run from there, guys. Like, it just went and went. I expected the W to fall out here, and it still did another run up there. Matic's price action is probably, if I was going to run a bot, that's a tough one. A safe bot here, right? So between 168 and 141. But if I really wanted to incorporate a lot of the price action, I would run this as high as 213, right? Because you can see price in here has been pretty steady for all the way down to here. So I really wouldn't look to, I guess you could grab these wicks and see if they can get down into there, right? But really, I think if it starts breaking down that far, it may end up breaking into the next zone, which would be right down in here. So I really wouldn't have it go beyond these wicks. I would just have it kind of buy down to here and then sell up to here. But you're still in a good spot for Matic. I think Matic's going to fall back a little bit more. You can see right there by the red candle. It'll probably fall back to like 140 and then start running again back up. A lot of these are moving into a W formation for the most part. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so these are kind of the zones for Bitcoin itself, just so you guys know too, because I know I explained zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Zone 2 is this entire incorporation right here. Zone 1 is this entire incorporation right here. And zone 3 is this entire incorporation right here, right? And then so we did move into zone 2 here, and then they pulled it back into zone 3 again. And now we're back into zone 2. And so I'm expecting on this zone 2 visit for price to potentially fall back to find support to get some room, and then run to the top of zone 3, right? And then if you're running to or near the top of zone 3, like if Bitcoin moves anywhere in the zone, I would probably drop most of my stuff around 50K, because I would expect the pullback, and I would wait for pullback confirmation before a re-entry, because 50K is a good position to sell, in my opinion. Even if Bitcoin went up to like 80, 90K, it's going to come all the way back down below 50K at some point. So you'd have to sit on your hands for price action, but at least you got out with your profit and a significant amount from here to here, if that's what you're looking for. There's some safe ranges for which one? Oh, for Matic. I would say if you're looking for like ultra safe, then I would go between like 170 and 142, right? And then if you're looking for to capture the full price action, I would go between 142 and 213. That's where all the true price action is. You can see they've run this zone a lot, and I would not incorporate this, because the likeliness of this happening is just really not that likely. They'll probably run it up, and before you even get a chance to get out, they'll already be back in your zones, and you won't be able to revisit this again, just like they did over here. Took them a long time. If you look at the reason I say that is because if you look at how, so the last wick was right here, right? Look at how long it took them to get back up into that zone. You would have had to hold this coin for 190 days to recapture if it would have bought up here. So I wouldn't I wouldn't grab anything in that zone, because you want to grab where the real price action is. So the price, I'm going to show you guys kind of how I look at it. Your price action stayed in this zone, this lower zone that we're looking at, right, for the entire time of 124 days. And then it's also hit it over here, and it also hit it over here. So it's actually got more time than that, but consistently it's been in the zone for 124 days. So I expect price action to try and stay here unless we go into a full-on bear. This seems like a pretty solid position for Matic, or for right now. And then if Matic drops down, I'll expect that price to go between 137 and right around 105. Maybe you could even put it at $1. It really doesn't matter, but that's what I'd run a bot on. Yeah, I mean, you can in and out, or you can just run a bot. Either one. 3 commas, free bot. So emotionless. Yeah, those are the price zones I'd be looking at though for this one. ADA itself, ADA's just doing the same thing as Matic. Look at its zone right here. Zone right here, same zone it had over here. If ADA breaks out though, man, this is where the real price action's at, right? If ADA gets back out of the zone of $1.06, I can see it running all the way up to like $1.50. So that would be a good run for ADA. And that's like, if you bought in at 75 cents, well over a 2x in that move. If you didn't buy there, price is going to come back down during this dump that we're getting right now with Bitcoin. So that's definitely a possibility. And you're probably like, well, Bitcoin's not dumping. Bitcoin will fall back. Trust me. It's already hit its zone. It's made the support it needs to make. It's hit its resistance right here. See the resistance it's hitting? Same resistance is over here. It's going to fall back. It's going to find support. They're going to try and run it up, fake people out, and then maybe drop it, which will be a big M, or they'll come back, they'll find support, and they'll run it again into the top of zone 3. You guys got anything else that I guess that you want to look at, or any other coins or anything like that? All right, I'll take that as a no. All right, yeah, that's kind of where the market's at right now. We can go into like percentages and look and see what's kind of really gaining. So I'm going to show you guys a trick. Like what I do is like I run my change percentage here, right? We don't want to do it on this one. We want to do it on the hot list because I have more coins here, but I run my change percentage, right? I'm not looking to buy any of these coins, guys, that are up, right? I'm looking to look at coins that are just starting to move right here, right? And I'm looking to look at these charts and be like, all right, these coins are just now starting to see price action. What do these charts look like? And that's when I start opening these charts up. Yeah, we can look at one real quick. Let me go over here. Let's go symbol. Oh, all right. So one had a nice bounce, just like Bitcoin. Look at that. Boom, bounce, going. One's price, oh man, yeah. One's kind of like in like a mid zone, man. Let's see here. Let's run one of these. Give me just a second. All right, let's run that. Let's run that. Man, it's resisting right on that bearish downtrend. I don't know if one's going to come back up. One, man, like, I don't know if you guys were here, like during the beginning of one, but I rode one all the way up. And then when it just started doing this, I was like, all right, I'm out. And it just kept falling and falling and falling and falling. One's one of those that just, it goes and then it stops and then it recovers. And then it goes and then it stops and then it recovers. Like, look at price here. That's the bull, right? And then we're going to ignore that top part and we're going to say that's the bear, right? And then this right here is the bull. And then you got the bear. And then it bull and then bear. And it's just, you can see the patterns, right? It's pretty apparent how it's been working for one, but one to me looks like a big M, which means it could come back down and try and recapture these lows right in here. It loves to come back to the zone, guys. It loves to come back to the zone. I don't know why. It's just one of those coins. Oh, SHIB? Yeah, we can look at SHIB. Yeah, I actually have SHIB on my radar right now. So SHIB's one of my ones that I entered on, and for some reason, like, it's just not moving at all. But let's see this one. Okay, it is moving a little bit here. All right, awesome. I don't know what's up with my other chart. My other chart's just not moving. Maybe it died. I don't know. It looks like it's running sideways on this chart for some reason, but it looks like it's getting price action over here, and it's actually looking higher than my buy-in zone. But let me open up. Sorry if I trailed off there, guys. I always forget my mic needs to be pointed at me. Let's see here. Yeah, I think SHIB's looking good, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I got some of this. I'm not a meme coin fan, but like SHIB's looking good. Like, its lineup's looking really good. Its price action's like in a positive trend. And so is its RSI. RSI is also in a positive trend. If SHIB breaks the 50 on the RSI on the daily, I could see SHIB taking off. I would probably start taking profit though on it around like this 3341, and then I would probably look for another take profit right around there. That 3939 is going to be a heavy resistance. You can see right here. Look at the support right here, and look at the resistance right here. That's going to be heavy resistance right there. So I would definitely say take profit, but you're almost at trend, right? I called this, I think, at like 2-3 something. On my other chart I have it. Ignore that. I called it at 2445. So if we went in at 2445, and because this chart for some reason is just not moving anymore, then at that point you're actually in profit right now. You're at 2585. So you should be in profit since that call. So SHIB's actually looking good. I think SHIB has a lot of upside, man. If Bitcoin makes it to 50K, SHIB should run really hard for these upper zones, I think. What else we got here? Let's see. FTM is good. Yeah. Matic good. One. Cheese. All right. CHZ. Yeah, let's look at CHZ. CHZ, man, like it was a hot one at the beginning of the run, but it fell off so hard, and like nobody's looking at it. But I think CHZ, like what it's got going on, is really good for it. It's incorporated with a lot of sports and stuff like that. So I'm really surprised it just doesn't see the price action. But being Tron, I think it's going to be kind of part of that whole scenario. But it looks like a potential W for CHZ, to be honest with you. But we did form a lower low here, which is a little bit concerning. So this could turn up actually into an M, right? So we could see some upside, but it could drop more, to be honest with you. I'd be careful with CHZ. It looks really bad chart wise. If we look at the top here, top resistance is very apparent for CHZ. So it just hasn't recovered out of this. And even a trend here, like you can see the overall triangle I had here. This is a breakdown triangle. That's exactly what this is. This is a fake out wedge, where they were looking to try and make it bullish. They just didn't have the momentum. That's why it's all awkward looking. And then it just fell out, right? And now it's kind of trying to find support again. I think next support for CHZ is probably sitting around, there, about the 9 cent mark. And then like, I think this is solid support around 6 cents, and it can go as low as I think 2 cents if it continues to keep tumbling. So be careful with CHZ. I would say if you're holding it, might want to allocate some of that bag to something else for right now until it kind of makes a comeback. Let's see what else we got here. SHIB. The most interesting one I got right now that I'm looking at is probably Quan. To be honest with you, it's low market cap, not a lot of eyes on it. If it explodes, it'll be like one of these other ones. These coins like Solana, for instance, guys, like when these coins go, they just go. You miss the boat once it goes. right? So I'm really keeping an eye on the ones that just haven't seen the price movement, but could see the price movement moving forward. So we need to really watch for like those coins that just haven't seen it at all. No problem, Cheryl. Do you guys have any other coins? Maybe you're holding another coin or something that you're curious about it, or that you might want to see? All right, I guess that's a no. CHR, another one that I was watching for a while. You can see heavy support right here, CHR. The problem for CHR right now is that it's under support, right? So if it's under support, it's hitting resistance. So we'll see if we can break out. CHR is pretty solid coin, guys. I think it's not too bad. Let's see. Algo, I know they did a video on Algo today, so let's see what the chart looks like since they did a video on Algo. All right, we'll run Hero in just a second. Algo, man, Algo literally came back to the zone. Look at that. Came all the way back to the beginning zone. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much ups. It's just, this would be a great coin to put on a bot, to be honest with you. It just keeps coming back to the zone. You can set your zone bottom here and then just run it all the way up. Let it go to town. Hero. All right, let me run Hero real quick. Give me a second. And I'll run XLM after that. All right, Hero USDT. Oh, looks like Hero might have bottomed here. Nice. Heroes actually looks good too. We got an uptrend going right there. I think Hero might actually be pulling out of its rut. We got a huge uptrend on the RSI. RSI dropped below value, right? Just be careful. Let's see here. I'm gonna see if, yeah, I'd be careful. Hero is a little bit overextended, but I think it'll probably come back to this. I would buy Hero probably around like 6.64, right? So 6 cents and 1/4 of a cent is probably where I would buy Hero, because that should bring it back to trend, and that'll probably bring it back to here before it ends up actually taking off. All right, let me run XLM real quick, and then we'll run through the other ones real quick. XLM again, it's looks like it's accumulating pretty well. So we've got the downtrend on XLM, right? Which looks scary when you look at it. And we can even say, okay, well, that's downtrend or whatever. It's still a downtrend. But look at the RSI. To me, the RSI is signaling bullish divergence. We've got the downtrend on the chart. We've got the uptrend on the RSI. That's bullish divergence. So that means that XLM could be looking for a breakout at some point, and usually bullish divergence is like a really good breakout, right? So I would definitely be watching this one, and that's on a daily too, which means it could be a huge breakout. If you can catch it anywhere on this trend line, man, buy, I would say, but like not financial advice. Obviously, don't give financial advice, but I would buy, right? If I found on the trend line. This is actually one of the better looking coins I've seen so far that were thrown at me. So that one looks good. Let's see what else we got here. IMX, Gala, Rose. All right, let's go through IMX. That looks like it was next, and then we'll run through the other ones. IMX USDT, man, IMX. I know somebody brought this to me before, and tell me, has it followed to a T on this trend, man? It won't break this resistance. I don't know why it won't break this resistance, but yeah, this thing just falling. Let's see RSI. Let's see what we got here. See if we have any hope on the RSI. RSI, not too bad. We got the downtrend. We got a little bit of uptrend from here to here. So from here to here. So they may be looking to slow down, I think, on this drop. Man, this breakout, like it barely even moved, and this RSI just blew up. Yeah, I would say it's probably going to need to settle. Honestly, I wouldn't buy IMX where it says, I would want to see IMX start doing this. If you start seeing IMX do that, that means it's found a floor and it's found a ceiling. Accumulation means that's your time to buy, right? So if I were looking to buy IMX, I would wait for that. I don't think it's at that yet. It's probably going to be, I would say if it's found bottom here, I would let it set for a week or two because it more than likely won't break out of the zone immediately, and then see if it can find support and start ranging. It needs to range sideways. It's had too much downtrend. Let's see here. Rose and Gala. Let's see, Rose. All right, Rose USDT. Oh, hey, Rose broke right back out. Look at that. Let's see. We got the downtrend. We got the downtrend, but we do have the bottom here. That one's a little risky because we're matching trend here. We got the downtrend there, right? And then we also had the downtrend here on the chart, on the RSI. So it did bottom, which was good. It's got the reactionary bounce. So I think myself that Rose is probably going to range here. So not really a breakout, but like kind of hold this zone. And it could even come up here, right? But I think it's going to range in this price zone. So probably a bot coin for now. And we can see the price action right in here, right? So it kind of supports that whole theory of ranging, and the same thing here. Good price action there. So I think it'll range here and then probably get some accumulation going on before it tends to move higher. That's what the market's allowed to move higher. Gala. Let's see here. All right. Gala's looking not too bad. So Gala's got the uptrend on the uptrend, so nothing too crazy. It'll probably move regularly. It's not got any bullish divergence or anything. It's just straight uptrend on volume, uptrend on chart, which means natural buying, right? It's got natural price movement right now for accumulation. So I would say Gala just breaking the 50 on the RSI, just breaking out here. If Gala ranges really heavily up, probably 39 cents to the top. That's if the market allows it. Obviously, if Bitcoin falls over tomorrow, that's not going to happen. So don't quote me on pricing on that. But I would say 39.40 cents. You know, if we wanted to go out the fib, you're looking at 32 cents. So if it comes up and just hits the fib, and that would actually support a lot of this right here, because if you look, see that trend right there? If it came up and hit the top of this trend, where would that be? 32 cents. So I think the fib's right on this pricing. So I would probably take profit around, or take profit probably around that 32 cents zone for Gala. But I think like if we're looking at coins, like the coin that you threw out there, Nathan, like that, anything in bullish divergence, I think is a really good pick. Those are the coins you should really be eyeballing, is the bullish divergence coins. Those ones are going to be the ones with the big breakouts. This one right here is a double bottom into an uptrend, so that one's not too bad either for HBAR. So HBAR has accumulation going on, as you can see, and it's got the double bottom right here, supporting the uptrend. So I would say at minimum, HBAR is going to range and pretty high. All right, what else we have here? I think we covered all that. Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to see, or just throw it in the chat if you guys have other coins? Just keep them coming. Hex is looking pretty bad, but looks like it might find support right around here, right around 13 cents. I might actually get some of this, not gonna lie. I'm really watching Hex, just because it did so well, but at the same time, it's on a pretty big leg, right? This thing could go down and just never come back up. So be careful with that one. FTM. Yeah, I can cover FTM again real quick. Yeah. FTM. So as we talked about earlier, I think FTM is going to continue to range. So you can see the ranging right here. So probably top of zone for FTM is going to be right around, honestly, 296 if it runs up again. And you can see it because just like Bitcoin, guys, it's got this slight downtrend, right? From top to top, or at least all the other altcoins. Sorry, Bitcoin's is the opposite way. It's an uptrend a little bit on Bitcoin. But if you look at it on the BTC Rainbow, it's a downtrend on the BTC Rainbow. But FTM itself, like I would expect price to probably hit this part of the fib, this 618, and then reject there and then come back down. So definitely going to be a ranging coin for a little bit, at least until it can either break out or break down. But it does have a lot of overhead, so it can come up pretty high on the RSI. Let's see, Flux. Flux is another one I'm watching too. I know a lot of people are big on KDA, but I think Flux is a really good coin too. So you can see right here, Flux getting out pretty hard there. I think I have another chart for it. Yeah, this one's better. So Flux is kind of ranging also. And I think it's going to pop up, but I think it'll reject probably around this 240 zone for Flux if it does pop back up. Let's run. All the ones that are showing Flux is showing bullish divergence too. So if you look here, we've got the downtrend on Flux, right? And we've got the uptrend on chart on RSI. It's not that easy to see unless you really scroll it in. But you can see right there where it's pretty much in an uptrend. So it's showing the opposite. Whenever the RSI is showing the opposite direction of the chart, then you're looking at bullish divergence. So it looks like Flux may start to kind of flip up and start really pumping at some point. So definitely keep an eye on that one too. Let's see file. Oh my gosh, look at how beautifully it's followed that channel down. That's crazy. Look at that. So file will probably hit up here around maybe $20, $24 because it did find support if Bitcoin runs, and then it'll probably reject again. So it's not looking too good. It's got the same uptrend as the uptrend, so it's not really hefty buying volume. It's just kind of like regular volume. So nothing crazy with that one. FCX. Let's see. Yeah, so I always use the bottom of the trend because the bottom's the support, right? So the bottom is going to tell you the direction. So if we look here, like look at function X, right? Perfect example. See higher low, lower low. What do we see on the RSI? The opposite, right? So we're seeing the opposite on function X token, which is something I called a while back. So function X token is showing me that this is pretty much this is a joke. This isn't real. Like this is forced manipulation on the price, when in reality they're actually buying it up. So buying pressure is beating selling pressure. So even though they came down lower here, buying pressure came in extremely heavy here to make sure it couldn't go any lower. And that's essentially how you get bullish divergence. It's just buyers are stepping in and not allowing pressure to come down any further. Yeah, you can, I guess you could run it on the top too, if you wanted to. But yeah, I usually look at support when I'm looking at bullish divergence. UMB. Man, UMB fell off a cliff. Yeesh, 11 cents. All right, that one looks better. All right, so UMB, man, it came back almost all the way back to its accumulation. You can see right there, like if we look at it from a standpoint of accumulation, distribution, right? Distribution. And then I think we'll move back into accumulation right in its current zone right now. So it does have a good chance of coming down and trying to fulfill some of these wicks to the downside. So be careful with UMB. Yeah, I'd be careful with that one. 11 cents. But it also is at the bottom, right? I mean, I would consider this the bottom. But if we look here too, you know, when we're talking about bullish divergence again, we got the downtrend. And you can see right here, see the candle right there? See this RSI right here? We got the uptrend, right? So it is looking to probably at some point reverse from here. So this is probably a good accumulation zone for UMB. Yeah, no problem, Nathan. So definitely keep an eye on UMB. I might actually get some of this now. So it's actually looking pretty good on the RSI part. You've been holding since 50? Oh man. Yeah, it looks like we might actually get potentially a turnaround on some of these. Are they going to be long lived? That's the problem, right? All right, no problem, Nathan. We'll see. We'll see how high they can push these off of this. This one could reverse and it could go up to 16 cents and then reject again, right? So you just got to take profit when you see it. CSPR. Let's see. Yeah, see, man, this would be a great bot coin, man. That's what I will say. Like, look at these runs on this one. Up and down and up and down and up and down, and it'll probably run back up again is what I'm guessing. Got pretty good support. It's got obviously the upward momentum, the downward push. So this one's probably looking at bullish divergence also. It looks like a lot of these coins are lining up for it, man. And actually it's funny because a lot of these coins you guys are giving me are close to the same type of coin, like ecosystem / coins too. So it's kind of helping figure out the trend at the same time. Celsius looks really bad. I had it coming all the way down to here, but apparently it bounced here, but that's fine. I think it's going to keep dropping. RSI is way overextended. Oh, BTC. Yeah, we can talk about BTC. BTC is pretty much like it's hit its top for right now. You can see right here, it's basically hit the same zone over here. So this is kind of our zone 2, right? This is our zone 3 and this is our zone 1. And I kind of broke up this zone to show you kind of the price action, how it broke back into zone 2 and then it fell back into zone 3 again. And now we're pushing back into zone 2. So I'm expecting two things to happen here. This to either turn into an M formation. So get caught on this downtrend right here, obviously, right? And M formation from here, which will bring us deeper, or it'll end up breaking out and W formation to the top side, right? And then we'll start seeing positive price action from there. So those are kind of the two scenarios that can play out here. Really, to be honest with you guys, like it's 50-50 for me right now on market direction. Like market direction it's so difficult to read right now with the way that these pumps and these dumps are happening. Like I'm just giving you guys where I think it'll go on the next move as far as price, but I can't tell you like, you know, is it going to do that tomorrow, the next day? And I can't tell you, it's going to be 30K or 20K or any of that anymore. Like it's just, they're ranging price so heavily in the zone and people just keep on committing so much when it comes to longs and shorts in these zones that there's no reason for the market maker to drive higher. And there's no reason for them to drive lower because everybody keeps on overextending with their leverage in these zones, right? So it's like they can stay here forever as long as people keep on putting in massive amounts of money. When people keep on committing billions of dollars on longs at the top and then they commit billions of dollars on shorts at the bottom. So he comes in, liquidates them, and he just stays in the zone and keeps running sideways. So that's why I said anytime we're hitting in these 30s, I'm buying. Just buying in here. I don't care. Like it can go down to 20, whatever. I don't care. I'm buying in these zones. And then I'm going to sell anywhere around 45 to 50 to 60K. I'm going to sell anywhere in there. Spell? Sure. Thought I had spell on here, but maybe I don't. What's the longest chart on Spell, you guys think? FTX, Huobi? Let's try Huobi. Just looking for something with a lot of data. Doesn't look like a lot of data. Let's try Binance. Binance looks worse. Oh, Bitfinex. Bitfinex is always good. Let's go USD. Shorts and longs. No, not just that. All right, that looks good. All right, so Spell's at bottom, man. It's bottom of the RSI. Let's see here. Let's see what I can see. Daily is kind of meh. It looks like it's trapped under resistance right here. See the support right there? That's where it looks like it's trapped right now. But at the same time, RSI itself is just breaking above the EMA. I think it's EMA or SMA. I think they're using a smooth. I think it's smooth moving average. They're using this one. But it's just breaking above it, so we could see it kind of come up and break down and find support and take off. That would be a good sign, right? And the SMA kind of roll under. But I would be careful. The volume looks really low on this one on Spell. So it could have a breakout, but then it could just not do nothing. What does price action look like for percentage on like a small move for this? Yeah, it's not really a lot of increase either. I thought there'd be more. Watch for BTC to the M and W formation. Oh, so M formation will be, it'll stay where it's at right now, right? So if it breaks above 46K, starts pushing into 48, 49, we're probably going to range to the top up here and we're going to go into a W formation, right? If it stays in the zone it's at right now with the below the 46K zone, information I would say is in play, and that's my B, right? So my 0, A, B, C, that would validate my ABC, and then my B should reject even if it comes up higher. If it stays below 46K, it's going to more than likely be down, and then C will bring us way down, right? This M would then, I don't think that it'll range anymore. I think that this will do this and it'll come down deeper. Now, I'm not saying we go to 20K here, but we could definitely go into like 29K, right? We can go back here into these lows and then hold position here and play here for a while and then eventually come down deeper, potentially, right? If they keep playing lower and lower. So definitely something to watch out for. W formation would be the opposite. So basically I'd be looking for this to play out. So that's the one side of the W. That's the middle. That's the pullback. And then this W should come all the way up to at least here, right around 52, 50K. So I'd be taking a large chunk of my position around these price ranges on anything I'm in. And then I would wait then at that point for Bitcoin to come back into these lower zones before I buy back in. On a swing trade type mindset, just FYI. That's the way I'd look at it from a swing trader standpoint. All right. Do you guys have anything else, or you guys wanted to look at? All right. Well, I am going to probably wrap it up here, guys. I just want to kind of hop in, give you guys some market updates, run through some coins, give you guys some ideas on what you can look for and look at. Until next time, we'll chat again. Thanks, guys.